Disasters can strike at any time, and when they do, everyone is affected. But amidst the chaos and destruction, there's one group that is particularly vulnerable: children. Representing more than half of the world's population, children and youth under the age of 18 stand to benefit the most from reducing the risk and impact of disasters. Often hit first and hardest when disasters strike, children and youth experience disproportionately large impacts to their physical and mental health, nutritional needs, access to education, economic opportunities, exposure to violence, as well as many other limiting side effects. They are the worst affected during disasters due to physical, psychological, and social vulnerabilities. They can lose their homes, families, and even their lives. That is why the Philippine government passed RA 10821, also known as the Children's Emergency Relief and Protection Act. It aims to ensure that children affected by emergencies receive the protection and support they need. The major impact remains due to physical vulnerability as they bear the brunt of shock due to any disaster. Be it natural disasters like flood, earthquake, typhoons, heat wave, or man-made disasters like fire, epidemic, civil strife, and others. They are the worst sufferers as they are doubly hit. Due to inability to escape or fend for themselves poses them at high risk of injury. Post-disaster due to separation or loss of family members and their homes may pose a risk for them to suffer psychological harm from the damage of their homes and possessions. From migration, from the grief of losing loved ones, from seeing parents or caregivers undergo stress, from neglect and abuse, and from breakdowns in social networks, neighborhoods, and local economies. Disasters can cut off access to medical care even for non-disaster related illnesses. Social vulnerability is due to the role of children specified in the society, which is low in terms of gaining information or experience on disaster or coping with them. Activation of antisocial elements during disasters may lead to exploitation, abuse, and trafficking of children. The loss of support system puts the children at risk as they roam around unattended.
Napaka-importante po ng Republic Act 10821 o mas kilala bilang Children's Emergency Relief and Protection Act, especially ngayon na tayo po ay nakakaranas ng iba't ibang sakuna kagaya na lamang ng bagyo, lindol, tagtuyot at iba pa. At ang mga bata, sila ay isa sa mga vulnerable group at hindi maiiwasan na sila ay makaranas ng pisikal, emosyonal, psikolohikal, at sosyal na trauma. Nang sa gayon ay maisagawa namin ang layunin ng batas na ito, kami po ay nakikipagtulungan sa iba't ibang kawani o ahensya kagaya na lamang ng DSWD, Pamunuan ng Batac City, Bureau of Fire Protection, Philippine National Police, mga opisyal ng barangay at iba pa upang makagawa kami ng Disaster Risk Reduction Plan at matrain natin ang mga kapwa responders upang maging handa sa pagresponde sa mga apektadong bata.
Data on hazards, exposures, vulnerabilities, and losses enhance the accuracy of risk assessment, contributing to more effective measures to prevent, prepare for, and financially manage disaster risk. In addition, risk assessment may consider rare events that lie outside projections of future hazards but that, based on scientific knowledge, could occur. Anticipating rare events requires a range of information and interdisciplinary findings along with scenario building and simulations which can be supplemented by expertise from a wide range of disciplines. With this, nurses or emergency responders will be able to plan and provide education, community engagement, and health promotion and implement interventions to safeguard the public health.
Katulad ng naisaad, ang ating bayan ay nakaharanas ng mga iba't ibang sakuna sa di inaasang araw at oras. Kaya't ang aming tungkulin bilang emergency responders ay ang pagbibigay ng quick and immediate help sa mga taong nangangailangan sa kasalukuyang oras at panahon ng sakuna. Maaari natin itong tawagin na search and rescue program na kung saan hahanapin namin ang mga nawawala o maaari rin magbibigay ng tulong sa mga nangangailangan upang makasurvive or maginhawaan ng country due to the bad effects ng sakuna. Isa rin na gawain namin ay ang paninigurado na organized at safe ang mga tao sa mga evacuation centers in a way na panigurado na nagbibigay ang sapat na kailanganin sa pamamagitan ng makamit ang pangunahing kailangan ng tao upang makasurvive, katulad ng pagkain at pagtitirhan. Paniniguraduhin namin na ibibigay namin ang kailangan ng siya sinuman, ngunit we give a priority to those na pinaka-vulnerable katulad ng mga bata, matanda, muntis, at may kapansanan. At sa panahon naman na tapos ang sakuna, we make sure pa rin na maibigay namin ang mga pangangailangan ng tao upang dahang-dahan makausad sa outcome ng nangyari.
Disasters disrupt hundreds of thousands of lives when it occurs. Each disaster has lasting effects both to people and property. If a disaster occurs, the local government and disaster relief organizations will try to help and respond. Local responders will try to reach those in need, immediately giving priority to those who are at most vulnerable. Emergency services and rescue services are organizations that ensure public safety, security, and help by addressing and resolving different emergencies. Many of these agencies engage in community awareness and prevention programs to help the public avoid, detect, and report emergencies effectively, or to reduce the impacts by strengthening the competency of the community on what to do before, during, and after a disaster strikes.
Kami sa DSWD kasama ang iba't ibang mga ahensya sa ating gobyerno ay magkakasama upang unahin at iprioridad ang kabataan sa ating bansa. Ang programang Comprehensive Emergency Program for Children o CEPC ay napakalaking tulong sa ating kababayan sa tuwing may sakuna. Kailangan nating magsikap na tuloy-tuloy upang matiyak na walang bata ang mabibiktima ng anumang uri ng pang-aabuso, panliligalig, pagsasamantala, trafficking, kapabayaan at karahasan sa tuwing may sakuna. Dapat ding tiyakin na ang mga bata ay bibigyan ng prioridad sa panahon ng rehabilitasyon at pagpapagaling sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng epektibo at agarang programa at serbisyo sa tugon ng kanilang mga pangangailangan.
Ensuring the safety and protection of Filipino children from all forms of abuse and exploitation in times of disasters and emergency situations requires a vigilant, prepared, and resourced society. It should be a collaborative effort among different organizations, civil society organizations, and private citizens.
We in the Department of Social Welfare and Development collaborate with the different relevant agencies such as the DILG in reuniting orphaned, unaccompanied, or separated children to their family members. We have developed standards and guidelines for the family tracing reunification system to facilitate immediate actions for these children. This involves documenting children by collecting their personal information, taking their photographs, and using that information to find their family members through a developed application called the Rapid FTR, which allows information to enter to a centralized database, which is way more efficient than the traditional paper-driven system. At para naman sa mga batang hindi mahanap ang kanilang mga pamilya o yung mga batang hindi mabigyan ng kanilang mga pangangailangan, we are directing these children sa mga licensed or authorized residential care facilities o kaya dinadaan namin sa aming foster care program.
The law ensures that children, either orphaned, unaccompanied, or separated to their families are linked back to them or provided with their needs to be nurtured in licensed facilities or foster families. This section of the law seeks to provide an environment for the child where he or she can be given with love and care that they need the most.
We, the Department of Interior and Local Government, are responsible for overseeing and reporting on the delivery of services. Kinakailangan namin mag-submit ng written report sa mga appropriate committees ng Senado at House of Representatives within 5 days or as soon as possible pagkatapos ng isang sakuna, lokal man o buong bansa. Sa aming specific data collection and reporting, inilalathala namin doon ng age, gender, ethnicity, at maging ang mga special needs ng mga bata't buntis na apektado dahil isa ito sa mga requirements ng Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Information System upang sa gayon ang mga impormasyon na aming makuha ay magamit namin to better understand and meet the needs of the children and pregnant women who have been affected by catastrophes and tragedies. Kinakailangan din namin maglagay ng isang seksyon para sa mga buntis at mga batang taong 5 taong gulang pababa to address their post-tertiary needs dahil kinikilala natin sila bilang vulnerable group.
Data can have a variety of spatial properties, and this is especially crucial when responding to disasters. To help offer emergency relief and protection for children before, during, and after disasters and other emergency circumstances, data and records are essential for mapping, evaluating, and visualizing the spatial distribution of different types of dangers.
In order to prevent further casualties after a disaster, we must take into consideration various important criteria in establishing an evacuation center at appropriate locations. So the location's proximity to the affected area is the first factor. The easier it is for evacuees to get to the evacuation center and the less time they have to spend on the road. This is crucial in cases like those involving natural disasters like hurricanes, typhoons, or earthquakes, where time is of the essence. The size of the area should also be taken into account. A significant number of individuals should also be allowed to stay, and there should be enough room for them to eat, sleep, and get any necessary medical care. The location should also have sufficient showers, restrooms, and laundry facilities to meet the needs of the evacuees. Another key factor is the location's accessibility. It should have convenient access to public transportation and plenty of parking for those who drive. Also, the facility must offer accommodations for individuals with disabilities like ramps. So in general, choosing a suitable location for an evacuation center necessitates careful consideration of a number of factors, including proximity, size, accessibility, safety, security, and the availability of resources. Communities may make sure that their evacuation centers are well equipped to offer a secure refuge for persons affected by catastrophes and disasters by taking this into account. So, additional information, the preferred location during an earthquake is to seek for an open area. But if you are inside a house or a building, find the best furniture that is sturdy and hide under it. For typhoons, it is best to evacuate to a higher ground as there is a risk for storm surge and flooding, and seek shelter in sturdy buildings and preferably stay at the middle of the building. As for incoming tsunamis, it is best to evacuate to a higher ground.
Building safe and suitable spaces for vulnerable people during natural disasters is a sign of a long-term investment that local and national governments, as well as humanitarian and development organizations and stakeholders should embark on. The impact of disasters on the lives and well-being of children is real. The policies and decisions we make today will affect the lives of the future generation. Let's make it our priority to ensure safer, more resilient communities for our children.
As you all know, our school serves as an evacuation center during times of emergencies and disasters. While we are proud to provide a safe haven for our community members, it is important to recognize that using classrooms as an evacuation center should only be done as a last resort. Our classrooms are designed for learning, and while they may be able to accommodate some evacuees, they are not equipped to handle large number of people for an extended period of time. In addition, using classroom as an evacuation center may result in damage to school property, kagaya ng paggamit nila sa mga libro o mga modules para makagawa ng apoy at makapagluto. Nadi-disarrange din yung mga upuan at minsan ay nasisira. Pag-uuwi naman naiiwang madumi ang mga classroom at ang mga kapwa natin guro ang kadalasang naiiwan para maglinis, which can be costly and time-consuming to repair. That could impact our ability to provide a quality learning environment for our students in the future. Of course, in some situations, using classroom as evacuation centers may be unavoidable. And palagi namang bukas ang ating paaralan para dyan. In those cases, we have emergency preparedness plans in place, including evacuation routes and procedures, emergency supplies, as well as trained staff members who are ready to respond to any situation. We understand that being in an evacuation center can be difficult and stressful experience for many. That is why we strive to make our facilities as comfortable and welcoming as possible.
By prioritizing the safety and well-being of all community members, including students and staff, and having a comprehensive emergency plan in place, we can ensure that everyone is prepared and protected during times of crisis.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council is responsible for ensuring the welfare and protection of people during disasters and emergencies. Alinsunod sa RA 10821, parte din ng responsibilidad ng NDRRMC ang pagpapatupad at pagsasagawa ng mga child responsive training programs para sa ating mga responders or rescuers mula sa iba't ibang lugar kagaya na lamang ng mga barangay at mga paaralan. Karaniwan sa isinasagawang training program ng mga taga-NDRRMC ay may 5 modules at 16 sessions. The training program includes proper procedures and measures on how to assess the situation, safeguard and protect the affected children during and after the emergencies or disasters, and appropriate training on how to provide psychosocial interventions to children in different stages of development who are victims of calamities.
Providing child-responsive training programs to the emergency responders will ensure that the responders are equipped with knowledge and skills needed to effectively handle actual situations involving children during calamities.
Ako'y Liza Cordelio, takidad 12 years old, ani ako hapag namitan G1 Eastern Samar. Mga bata din nag-urog yas maglipayon yung nag-uwis kami ha plaza dito bye-bye ha eskilahan sandiin. Amay niyan amon daan nga balay. Nihimo ini hanon katapos sa bagyong Yolanda. Bisang gote, nasa dang naghihap kami ang magpamilya para may naturog lahin maumpay. Ang bagyong Yolanda, pinakwit kami sa simbahan. Narobaan amon simbahan, ang bumum na tumbangan, an atap din na panyahin na tumban iba. Damon namatay po dan akong lolo.
This evacuation center will provide safe shelter for about 350 people when a disaster strikes, whether it's during a typhoon or after an earthquake. But it will also serve as a community center in times between disasters, so people can come here, learn things, get together for social activities. The building is constructed in such a way that it can actually withstand winds of a typhoon type 5. but it can also withstand a magnitude 8 earthquake, which is quite exceptional. It also provides a playground, so it is really a child-friendly space. We've noticed that children like to run up the ramp and play hide and seek and all kinds of things. So it really provides a playful and friendly space for children to be in. The drawings that you see behind me, and there are also some other ones in the building, have been made by children in Giwan, together with Kids for Kids that are aligned with UNICEF in Manila to work with children here to create these murals, to make the building really feel that sense of community, but also more fun. So it is a fun and safe place for children to be.
Marisyo kami nga nag-uyas, nag-painting, nga nagsayaw. Amoy niyan ako yung pintaran. Yellow tak flower kay yellow liwat may adat haamon yellow nga flower. Yung botang ko yan sugat ini kay para ko ang maupay ya pagkitan. Pero wala ilagyan. Yung suratan ko na happy nga word para ang mga tao magmalipayon. Kung mabagyo ato kami mabakwit kay safe ngadto.
Thanks to RA 10821, children affected by emergencies can have a semblance of normalcy and security amid chaos and uncertainty. RA 10821 may not prevent emergencies from happening, but it ensures that children are not forgotten in times of crisis. Let's support and implement RA 10821 for the sake of our children's future.